what is this podcast about? It probably would help if you don't chew into the mic.
My name is Libby.
My name is Luke.
In this new episode.
This
new season.
And we are going to be focusing completely on weddings.
We are, in fact, the Wedding Pirates.
There's no other podcast like this. I've looked. I've checked.
And we have a cat. Her name is Stella.
We want to share all the secrets when it comes to weddings.
The one where we talk. Wedding edition.
Welcome back to another episode of The Wedding Pirates. This episode, we're going to be breaking down mean wedding vendors. And this entire season 2 of The Wedding Pirates is breaking down weddings. And everything that you need to know in order to be 100% prepared for your wedding.
Well, we hope it's 100% prepared, but
Maybe
I don't think you could ever be 100% prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you've been married like 5 times.
That's actually an episode that I have jotted down here. So we'll be talking about that as well, and expectations versus reality.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're going to talk about mean wedding vendors. And I think it's important what actually makes a mean wedding vendor, and is it actually necessary to be mean sometime? And seeing that while sometimes we view ourselves as mean, a lot of people are actually saying thank you for taking charge. So I would like to draw a line.
I never see myself as mean. I mean, not on a wedding day. I don't think I've ever been like directly mean to somebody.
Right.
I've been
bossy.
A bossy, yes, and I've also been accused of being mean from a specific wedding venue owner.
Well, I think so.
Well, if you go back to one of our previous podcasts about it's called the one about Luke almost going to jail and Libby getting kicked out of a wedding.
You weren't
venue.
really viewed as mean, though.
No.
You were just confused, and it was a miscommunication.
No,
but I
yeah.
want to talk about. But I want to. People can go back and the one where Luke almost goes to federal prison and Libby gets yelled at by the venue owner. You can go back and listen to that episode. But this is particularly about taking charge on a wedding day.
Yeah.
And how you.
Well, that was me. That was a situation of me trying to take charge, and it got me in trouble.
Right.
And I was looked at as mean.
But why would brides and grooms want wedding vendors that take charge and aren't afraid of someone calling them mean on the wedding day?
Done.
Yeah, that. You want to say that again?
Because you get shit done.
Yeah.
Story time. There was this one situation like 3 or 4 years ago where we were doing a wedding and family pictures. I despise family pictures, but it's okay. That's part of the job. I have to do it, and it's okay. I can do it.
I don't have a problem with it. It's great.
Yeah, because you literally have to do nothing. You hold the family photos
And
list.
that's even too much. That's out of my pay grade.
Yeah, you need a megaphone so that way you don't have to yell so loud and your voice doesn't hurt by the end of the night. So anyways, I was trying to direct the family members, as this was probably 100-person family photo. And everybody was cooperating, doing what I asked them to do so I could see everybody's faces. And we were standing on a hill, so that made things a lot easier because it was outside. And there was this one uncle that was being a pain in the butt, and he had been a pain in the butt all day. And I had asked the uncle, I was like, "Excuse me, sir, you are not here for yourself. You are here because the bride and groom have asked you to be here, so please cooperate. They would like to see you in this family photo." And everybody at that point was like, "Oh, she means business." And
Well, I feel like there's every single wedding, there's a moment, and usually it happens in the family photos, because that's a very high-strung, still, even though it's right after the ceremony, it's usually right after the ceremony, it's still a relatively high-strung moment, because the bride and groom are just married, and because of the cell phone technology that we have today, everybody and their aunt and uncle wants to get a selfie, and we don't have time for that. We've got to do family photos right now. And so then everybody that wants to say hi and everybody wants to take a selfie, we're telling them, no, you can't do that right now. We have to do family photos.
Well,
so now the family members are a little upset, and now we have to tell them what to do, and that's where things start to get a little heated, and that's why we're viewed as sometimes mean, because we need to take charge of people that are relatively upset.
Well, I don't think a lot of people like taking pictures. Like this uncle particularly, I don't
That
think
too.
he wanted to be in the picture. I think he was just gonna stand there and not show his face and pretend that he was in the picture even though he wasn't seen. And I was like, my job is to make sure that everybody's faces are seen in the picture, and I'm not gonna get a bad review because of this fucking uncle that can't make up his mind
Right.
about what he wants. If he doesn't want to be in the picture, he can stand outside of the picture and the bride and groom can be mad at him. Then then my job isn't like on the line because I didn't
Right.
make an uncle show his
But
face.
also, yeah,
But anyways,
Yeah.
later on in that day, like maybe an hour later, there was a lady that came up. I think it was the bride's mom. She said, "Thank you so much for taking charge during family photos. We were at my niece's wedding last week, and the photographer just stood around until people stood where they needed to stand and get the picture taken. And she didn't take charge, and it took forever, and it was really, really frustrating. So thank you for taking charge. I really appreciate that you did that." And I was like, hey, yeah, that's my job. Like, I want to make sure that family photos go as quickly and smoothly as possible because nobody really enjoys family photos.
Yeah, it's the idea is get it done quickly and efficiently. And if you're standing off to the sidelines, like if I call your name and I turn to you and you're just standing there, that's your name, right? You need to get in this family photo. No, they don't want a picture of me. You are on the list. I'm not about to give you a speech
Yeah.
about how the bride and groom want a picture of you, and just because you don't want the picture of you, now you're gonna say no, they don't want a picture of me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have this conversation with you. Get in line, go take the photo, and
Yeah.
and then the bride and groom end up like having to come over and say, please come and take the photo with us, and that's a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
If your name is called, get the photo. If you're this is literally, if you don't get them anything on their registry and you only buy them the same hand towel that every other 100 couple bought the bride and groom, at least stand in a fucking photo. Like, please, just do that for the bride and groom.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the photographer. I feel like this episode is more for the guests, because
Maybe, yeah. Well, so I've been called bossy on wedding days, but everyone is always like, wow, you're bossy. I like it.
Yeah, that's true. Because you're small. I tell all my brides and grooms, hey, my wife is 5'2", but don't underestimate her ability to take charge
Yeah.
when it comes to photos.
Oh, yeah. Not
Because
afraid.
for video, I more so need natural action. I'm not the stereotypical videographer where I set up the shot. Okay, button your shirt. Okay, no, unbutton it again. Button it again. Like, no, that's not a valuable shot. The value of video is capturing emotion.
Yeah.
And I need that emotion in action. So setting up, you can't set up emotion unless
Right.
you have a script with very skilled actors. And 9 times out of 10, we're not doing a wedding with skilled actors.
We are this year.
We are this year.
I actually just got off the phone with them.
Yeah. Wait, I was just thinking that as I was saying that. Actually, we do have a wedding come up with skilled actors. I wonder if we could prompt emotion.
He told
Can everyone start crying, please?
They told me that the pictures of with them and the bridal party are going to be super easy because they're really good at listening to direction and like being in front of a camera. Like every one of their bridal party is
Yeah,
like
they're all
good
actors,
in front of
and
actors
They
and
all
actresses.
work in Broadway or commercials or movies or TV shows, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think they're like, yeah, it's going to be, and they have someone that's going to have
Stage manager.
a stage manager for family photos to yell out who's next.
That's level up.
I was like,
Having a stage manager.
wow, this is next level of, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
but you're
gonna make-
not. That is a very special situation, and unless we did strictly actors and actresses weddings, which would be amazing.
It's
for you-
super cool.
There might be a lot of pressure because you will be advertised more, because because actors and actresses have a audience of their own, and if you mess up their wedding,
Yeah.
it will be broadcasted. You might as well close your business.
Yeah, right.
So there's more pressure, but the day itself is easier. So as long as you
It's gonna
do
be so
well
fun. I'm so
under high
excited.
pressure, which we do, that's what we're known for. We're the wedding pirates. We don't take shit from nobody on a wedding day. We take charge. And if someone calls us mean, we just shrug our shoulders like, sorry, it's my
But
job.
we've never had a bride and groom call us mean.
No, a bride and groom have never called us mean. All of our brides and grooms have looked at us like, thank you so much. Even before we rebranded, we used to just connect with the bride and groom on our website, and a lot of photographers, videographers do it this way. You fill out a form on the website, you fill out your payment information, you pay for it, and then I just get sent a date, and that's it.
Yeah, and then you show up on the day.
And I show up
you
on the
get,
day.
You get a timeline a week before, and
Yep.
then you show up on the day and you do the wedding.
And that's it. And that's the way we used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We figured out really quick that we don't want to do that because we ran into actually a lot of just intentionally just mean people that we were helping getting married.
Mm-hmm. And there was no like connection between us
Right.
and the bride and groom. It was like a business transaction. It wasn't like a personal, like, hey, you can cry on my shoulder. If you're stressed, like, call me and we can talk through it. Like, that's totally okay.
And it's I understand that it's difficult because when you pay someone for a service, it's understood that you are just here for a service. You don't actually care. And that's a really tough topic. That's something that you really can't get around in this business is being professional but being personal. And we actually have a whole episode on that. You should go back and listen to it. Professional versus personal, and we just break down what we think about that. And when you are personal with your bride and groom, they trust you.
Yeah.
And so
they're going to be more comfortable in front of a
you
camera.
can take charge, and they're going to be more comfortable in front of a camera when they know that we can take charge. We know what we're doing. We're experienced.
Yeah.
And we can talk down to their parents when their parents are being mean to them.
Yeah.
And they know that we can step in.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to, that is worth more than money.
Right.
That right there, you cannot put a price tag on that.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to protect your bride and groom from people that are just making ridiculous demands from them just because it's their wedding day.
Right.
And we forget that this is their wedding day. And I hate to say it, but we show up on a wedding day and like we're ready. I don't want to say we're looking to be mean, but we're ready to. If things get out of hand, we will. We are there. It's kind of like a bouncer. Bouncer just stands there with his arms folded, and he's not looking for people to be mean to. But if you start shit, he's gonna end shit, and that's us. So, can we be mean? Yes. Is there an appropriate time to be mean? Yes. And that's what our bride and grooms will say over and over again. We take charge of all the situations. That's a very consistent review that we get.
I see a lot of photographers that get approached by creepy uncles and guests at wedding days.
Mm-hmm.
I never get approached by creepy uncles.
No,
at
we have a
wedding
good
days.
RBF.
Well, I think too, when you are not afraid to speak your mind and you do tend to seem a little bit more bossy, you're not going to be approached by people who think you're
Well, I
vulnerable.
think there's a stereotypical photographer that is assumed as ditzy. You know,
yeah.
you walk in with a camera and your leather strap and your cute little glasses and your little hat, and you're just really cute looking. I mean, then just about every creepy uncle is gonna seem like, yeah, she's an easy one. But then you open up your mouth, and then they realize, oh, not only are you encouraged to speak your mind, but you're married. What kind of man are you married to?
It might also help too that you're with me at like 90% of the weddings we do. So.
Right, but imagine, I often think about the fact that like, people see you as, people call you bossy. People, I don't think anybody's actually called you mean.
No, nobody's ever called me. I mean, outside of the wedding industry, maybe.
But I often think about if once people realize who you are, I get nobody talking to me because they realize this man is married to this woman. He loves this woman with all of his heart. And I don't want to say I could deal with your attitude. I don't want to say it that way, but I love your attitude. So the fact that if that is what I love about you, your spunkiness and
Except for when I roll my eyes in an argument.
yeah, because that is so childish. Why would you do that? That's something that you do to your parents when you're 14. You are 30.
I'm not 30 yet.
29.
I turn 30 next
and
month.
a month and 11 months. So basically 30. But yeah, just nobody fucks with us on a wedding day.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of value in that.
I think we're
And-
too busy working.
Well, it's not that we're too busy working. It's just that we display a presence. We display it on our Instagram. We display it on our website. And every talk that we have with our bride and grooms, we're not afraid to
talk to wedding vendors. We're not afraid to like even tell a bride and groom how it is.
Yeah.
You know, if I've had multiple brides that have maybe before I even booked them, like they are obviously really frustrated with me, either with the cost or that I won't move on. Usually that I won't move on my price, or that I can only offer so much, or that I tell them like I'm not doing Photoshop services, and
Yeah.
and then they get mad at me and say, well, you know, I feel like there might be something else behind this. Why are you upset with me? I mean, I'm just providing a service, and I'm being honest about the service that I provide. Is there something else that's going on? And then they say like, oh yeah, my mom and my uncle or my sister or my brother is being a jerk, and like, oh okay, all right. Well, I'm not gonna be a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I want you to have exactly what you want
Yeah.
on your wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't provide it, I'm going to let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that is a deal breaker, you have all the options in the world to move on to another vendor.
Yeah.
I actually encourage that because I want you to have exactly what you want. That is
Yeah.
unheard of.
And we want you to want to work with us. Like we want to work with you. Like, well, yeah. Like we go through a process to make sure that we're a good fit for the bride and groom as well as we are a good fit for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so not every not every couple that contacts us, we don't end up working with every one of them because sometimes they're just not a good fit.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Because we put our brides and grooms through the ringer. Just like they are vetting us, we are vetting them. We
Yeah.
want to make sure that we can work together because
Mm-hmm.
we technically have to work together for the next year.
Yeah, or as long as you're engaged,
Yeah.
and then 3 months after that.
Yeah, because we have to deliver your product. I have to explain to you how your product's going to get delivered. And what if you get your product and you don't like it? Are we friends? It's a lot easier to tell a friend, hey, can you change this? I'm not really a fan of my mom saying this in her speech about me. I've actually had that happen. It's like, yeah, that's going to be way easier to ask a friend to do that than to ask a vendor to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pay more attention to you because you're a friend and you're not
Right.
just a client.
Right.
I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, of course. So I wouldn't say we are mean vendors, but we have come across a few mean vendors in our time of working with other vendors.
Example?
Like the photographer that talks shit behind the bride's back
Oh, my
because she
word.
calls the bride a bridezilla, and that she's
And she's the sweetest.
making demands, and I don't want to do the things that she's asking me to do. She's being unreasonable. She's just like basically gossiping at the vendor table over
And
dinner.
the photographer was agreeing with her.
No, the coordinator was
Well,
agreeing
the photographer and the
Coordinator
coordinator
were
were
talking
both talking shit about
about the bride. And that is what a mean vendor is. Someone
Yeah.
that talks shit behind the bride and groom's back. It doesn't take their job, takes their job seriously, but doesn't do it with passion or love. Is not going to be honest with people. And that's just downright mean and just
What a jerk.
I don't know. If you don't enjoy doing photography, don't do it. Don't do
Or if-
weddings.
And if you have a problem with this bride and you don't like them that much, why did you book them?
Yeah.
That tells me that you're booking brides how we used to book brides.
Or that the venue coordinator has a specific list of people that they working with, and that is usually a red flag on a wedding day. Going with preferred vendors through a venue is usually a red flag
That is a red
because
flag.
you don't want to book someone just because they're recommended through the venue because they've had good experience. Say that the venue owner had a really good experience with the photographer that came and shot a wedding day. They said, oh my gosh, I really enjoyed working with you because you gave me no problems, but the bride didn't enjoy working with that photographer.
Mhm.
That venue owner is going to recommend that photographer even though the bride didn't enjoy working with that
Yeah.
photographer because that venue owner had a good experience with that photographer.
The preferred vendors that you want are the ones by brides, not by venues.
Right. Yeah. The
That is-
recommendations by brides, not by venues.
Does it help me to get on a preferred vendor list? Absolutely, because
'cause it
that's
gets your name out
search
there.
engine. Yeah, because that's a backlink or SEO for me. That's for my website. That's not really for the venue. I don't care that I end up back at that venue, but the fact that venue is really fancy, and I'm on a preferred vendor list,
I might get brides that reach out to me, but I'm not going to just book you just because I'm on the preferred vendor list.
Right. So it's like, don't let the coordinator book your videographer and photographer. Like, do it yourself. Like, okay,
Yeah.
look at the preferred vendor list and then say, I want to contact them myself. I want to talk to them myself. I want to see their faces. I want to see
Yeah.
their work. I want to see their website. I want to see their Instagram. I want to see a full gallery
Right.
on their website, or that should they send me one. And then I'll decide for myself if I want to book this specific vendor, whether it be photographer, videographer, florist, caterer, DJ, any of that.
And probably the best weddings that we have done where the coordinator has contacted us is because the bride said, this is who I want.
Yeah.
Because that's a good coordinator. Some of the best coordinators, Janine. Janine's just at the top. I'm sorry. I love Janine.
I haven't worked with her.
Janine Events, look her up. She's an amazing.
Isn't it Janine Lilly Events?
Janine Lilly Events, I believe. I'll have to,
It's on our Instagram.
yeah.
So if you go through Broadside Visuals and look at our followers or the following, look up Janine and her page.
Out of all the vendors I've ever worked with, probably I would work with her again the most. But that's a good example of the bride told the coordinator, Janine, who she wanted for video and photography. And then the coordinator reached out to us, and then she did all the negotiation with us. She asked for all the references. She asked for all the stuff. And then she was the middleman or the gatekeeper for the bride. That is acceptable. But like you said, when it comes to preferred vendor list, if a coordinator is forcing you to book off of a preferred vendor list from a venue, that's a red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag.
So,
Burn
yeah.
it and raise the flag.
We have not had great experiences with preferred vendors from a venue when the bride and groom didn't have a say in who they were booking. So
Those end up being mean vendors.
mean vendors. Dun dun dun.
That's all we have time for today. If you have any questions about how we operate, or if you just have wedding pirate needs, which I believe everybody does. If you want to join the crew, you can reach out to us on broadsidevisuals.com or at Broadside Visuals. We also have a YouTube channel depicting all of our wedding highlights, and some of our adventures are on there from Bus Life. And remember, this is the one where we talk.
I have a question.
What's your question?
Would you rather have the urge for the rest of your life? Would you rather have the urge to pee for the rest of your life, or the urge to take a shit for the rest of your life?
I love how I immediately think about how I would feel on a wedding day.
I was thinking about for some reason I woke up at 7:00 this morning. No, 6:30 this morning, and that was the first thought in my mind. I think because I had to pee so bad, and I was like,
I'm gonna say taking a shit.
Yeah, I think that's my answer too, because I hate the feeling of having to pee, that my bladder is full.
Wait, is it
Also,
all the
too-
time? I'd rather die.
That's not an option. No,
Oh, yeah?
it's for the rest of your life. Would you
Watch me.
rather? Would you? Come on.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Don't just.
Okay, we're all for time though.
It doesn't matter. This is building, personality on our podcast.
You're right.
So would you rather have the urge to pee for the rest of your life, or the urge
I
to
already told you.
take a poop?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if you have the urge to pee, if your bladder is always full of liquid, and if you start laughing hysterically, you might pee your pants. I'd rather poop my pants.
Oh, that's a good point.
At least
Anyway, will you let us know? Would you rather? Have a wonderful day.